Hi children,
Then
how are you
we
all?
would row back
Hope
to the
you're all
landing
safe and
steps of the
happy.
villa and seat ourselves on a quilt spread on the terrace facing the river. By then, a silvery peace rested on both land and water. Hardly any boats were about. The fringe of trees on the bank was reduced to a deep shadow, and the moonlight glimmered over the smooth flowing stream. The villa we were living in was known as Moran's Garden. A flight of stone-flagged steps led up from the water to a long, broad veranda which formed part of the house. The rooms were not regularly arranged, nor all on the same level, and some had to be reached by short flight of stairs. The big sitting room overlooking the landing steps had stained glass windows with colored pictures. Now, moving on to the explanation. The author further continues his beautiful explanation on the lovely riverside view of his brother's bungalow. He continues that he would row back to the landing steps of the house and sit on the quilt spread on the terrace facing the river. Since it was night, the water looked silvery with the moonlight, and it was peaceful both on land and water. There were no boats around the trees, and it looked like shadows in the dark night, and the moonlight shone beautifully over the smooth flowing stream. The author depicts the name of the house where he lived beautifully, and he explains how beautiful the villa was. He called it, that is the place where he lived, no, the house. It was called as Moran's Garden. A flight of stone steps, that is, you can see in the picture, stone steps, led from the water to the house on a long, broad veranda, which was part of the house. The rooms in the house were not regularly arranged, not on the same level, that means, and some had to be reached by short stairs. The big sitting room was overlooking the landing steps and had stained glass windows with colored pictures. One of the pictures was of a swing hanging from a branch half hidden in dense foliage. Foliage means thick leaves together. And in the checkered light and shade of the trees, the bower, which means a pleasant shady place under trees, two persons were swinging, and there was another of a broad flight of steps leading into some castle-like palace. Up and down, which men and women were in festive garb. Festive garb means festive clothes. They were wearing festive clothes. So they were coming and going through that side, so he could see them. When the light fell on the windows, these pictures shone wonderfully, seems to fill the riverside atmosphere with holiday music. Some faraway, long forgotten revelry, which means lively and noisy festivities, was seen in silent light. The singing couple looked alike, that is, they were looking alive with their stories. So it looked alive, it was not like a painting, it was original, he felt. The topmost room of the house was in a round tower with windows opening to every side. This was the room he used for writing poetry. Nothing could be seen from the place where he sat, and it was surrounding by trees and open sky. He was then busy with the evening songs, and in his room he wrote. He liked it very much because it was a pleasant place. There was a limitless space of clouds from his room. He could see the clouds. And he tells the clouds that he has built a house for them. Oh, poetry, he says. He says through his poem, he loves nature and he admires nature. Thus, the poet Rabindranath Tagore beautifully had essayed his reminiscence of his stay in his brother's house and how he spent his beautiful holidays in Bengal. It is really a true reminiscence, isn't it, children? So, a beautiful essay by Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you.